Hello everyone, this is Debbie Henderson from Debbie's Designs. Welcome to my monthly paper pumpkin alternative projects. Happy Sunday everyone. I am a day early only because I have some appointments tomorrow, so I had to reschedule. I'm just going to give it a few more seconds for everyone to join in. Hello everyone, I can see you all coming on. So just a few announcements before I get started. One more week left on the November hostess code to earn free products from me. While you're shopping, just remember to put in this code when you check out. My free card kit for the month of November. If you place an online order, you'll get all the pieces to create a card just like this one. And finally, my door prize for the month of November. Anyone that places orders with me, whether online, in person, email, or even paper pumpkin, your name will be entered into the drawing for this stamp set. So tonight I am going to be creating 3 projects using the Winter Gifts paper pumpkin kit. Now this kit was all about tags this month. We have 24 beautiful tags. I'm actually going to bring them all in to show you. I've already done a video, if you missed it, on how to create all of my tags. And we have 4 different designs. We have the one with the sled, one with a snowflake, one with a red bird I'm going to call a cardinal, and then one with the Christmas tree. And if you joined in on my last video, I showed you 3 alternative projects that I made. Now those all came from the back of the project sheet. Paper Pumpkin has started sharing with us 3 projects that we can copy or case. Let me show you what those are. This one was using some of the bird elements, the reindeer and the tree. And then the last one was the one with the sled. And then I made 3, whoops, not that one. I want to show you 2 more. And then, let's see, I have a card missing. Oh, here's the other one. So I made the same cards on my last video. Now, let me move this aside. I'm going to show you 2 more alternative projects that are not part of my video. You're going to see them on my blog soon. I made this one using the wreath die. And all I did was flip the bird over to the white side, and I sponged soft suede ink on this one. And then with the little sprigs, I put those on the white side also. And then I have the script embossing folder on the background. Hopefully you guys can see that. And my other one, I used the pine wood planks in the background. And then I just used some layers to create the sled and the bird. So those you will see on my blog and on Facebook in the next few days. So tonight, let's get started with project number 1. Let me bring in everything I'm going to be using. Now I'm going to be using the Poppy Parade Dark Blends Marker, Poppy Parade ink pad. And I've gone ahead and cut everything ahead of time only because I'm doing 3 cards and I want things to go smoothly. So tonight I'm actually using the heirloom frames and dies. I'm using the square piece. Now for those of you that have never seen these, this set also comes with the embossing folders. So once you cut your frame out, you can emboss the whole thing. I'm going to show you one here in a second, but I just want to show you what that looks like on the inside. So let me move these aside. So hopefully no big shot tonight. I've got everything cut ahead of time. So for card number 1, and I don't have these made up ahead of time, I'm doing them as I go. And I did want to show you guys how I come up with my projects. You're going to laugh, but I usually sketch them out like this. So I have 3 here that I've sketched out. And then hopefully I will follow along as I talk to you. So I'm going to start out with soft suede cardstock, 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4 1/4. I'm going to press with my bone folder. Next, I've got the sparkle glimmer paper. Isn't that pretty? And this measures 4 by 5 1/4. Now, whenever I glue this down, the back of it is a little slippery compared to cardstock, so I usually use liquid glue to glue these down. So that's going to go right on my card front. So we got a lot of sparkle going on this one. Now here's the frame that I've gone ahead and cut and embossed. And you can see as I show it to you, you can actually use either side. So you have the debossed side and the embossed side. Before I glue this on, I have a white cardstock piece to put behind that measures 3.5 by 2.5. And I'm actually going to glue that in place with stamping dimensionals. So I'm going to bring my frame in. I want it to be popped, so that's why I'm using dimensionals. And you could also do this with the oval one if you own this set. Either one would be pretty. Now what I'm going to do is glue this on, and then I'm going to do my stamping inside the frame. I just want to be sure that it's in the right position. Okay, I'm going to bring in a mat just so I can see what I'm doing, because I need something darker. Okay, I'm going to glue that right there. Now I'm going to bring in the Poppy Parade ink pad along with the large piece sentiment. And I know I'm going to be gluing something on this side, so I'm going to stamp over to the right side as much as I can. So there's my piece. Now, in order for this to work on the glimmer paper, I always glue with liquid glue. And then once I'm done my card, I actually put something heavy on top. Even when I'm using stamping dimensionals, I always add glue on top of the stamping dimensionals. Now this is going to go a little over to the right, and you'll understand why in a minute. So now I'm going to bring in the tree. I have a snowflake. I've gone ahead and made a bow. And then I have a couple of the holly berries, or the holly leaves, I should say. I'm just grabbing my little sprigs here. I don't know if I'm going to use all of this. I cut out a whole bunch, or I punched out a whole bunch. The first thing I'm going to do is knock off this little circle on the top of my tree. I'm just going to round that over. That's going to go right here. Now I know I want to be flat on my frame. So what I'm going to actually do is add dimensionals just to the side. I think 2 will do it. And that's going to go right there. I'm going to go ahead and add some glue to the frame and press that down. Actually, I need to bring it down just a tad because it's sticking up a little too tall up top. I want the top of the tree to not be up above. And I'm also going to add glue to the bottom of the frame. Now I'm just going to hold this in place just for a second. Okay, now what I want to do is add the bow in place first because I'm going to add stuff around it. So I'm going to use a mini glue dot. And of course, I always use a little bit of liquid glue also. That's going to go in the inner corner of my frame. Let me see if I can fluff it up a little bit. It's so flat right now. And then I'm going to bring in my mini dimensionals. I'm going to add one to the center of the snowflake. I'm going to tuck that right here. And then I'm going to use the little holly with my glue dots. And I'm just going to tuck some of those under the snowflake. So what I was saying, I don't make cards ahead of time for when I do this video. I'm just kind of winging it. So hopefully everything will work out. Now again, I'm going to turn the little sprigs over to the white side. Use a little glue dot. And I'm just going to tuck those in. Oh, I can see a lot of hearts, you guys. Thank you so much. And this is only card number 1. There's my other sprig. And then what I'm going to do in the background, the little sequins that came with the kit, you have the choice of using white or silver. I'm going to take the white ones and actually color them with my Poppy Parade Blends marker. I'm going to start out with 3 and see where I can go with this. I'm going to put those right in the background. And as you can see, they're dry already and it does not rub off. So aren't they pretty in the Poppy Parade color? Okay, I think that's all I'm going to do, just the 3. I think it's plenty. So there's card number 1. I hope you enjoy that one. Let me get set up for card number 2. So again, with card number 2, I've gone ahead and prepared some stuff ahead of time. I'm using the red rhinestone jewels this time. I've got the red bird. I've got another bow that I created, shaded spruce ink. And what I did is I knew I wanted to use this tag and I wanted the white to be the same. Now, if you compare the Whisper white that we can purchase through Stampin' Up, it's not the same white. So what I did is I actually used the tag that has the wood grain center and I cut out a white piece so it'd be the same shade with the 2-inch circle punch. And I'm also using the copper foil sheets with the seasonal wreath embossing folder. Let me see if I can show you what that looks like. So I've gone ahead and embossed the copper, the wreath on the copper. Look how pretty that is. So this measures 4 by 5 1/4. And then I have the shaded spruce that I forgot to score. So again, this is 11 by 4 1/4, and I'm going to score at 5 1/2. And let's see what we can do with this one. Now I'm going to go ahead and glue the copper sheet. And again, this does not take the snail well, so I'm going to go ahead and use the liquid glue. So you can see that we had a lot of items to play with in our kit. And by just adding a little bit of cardstock, and Paper Pumpkin actually told us ahead of time what the cardstock colors were that we should be using. Now I'm going to actually take this little circle and glue that to the center of the wreath. So you can see here that all I used is the shaded spruce and the copper foil sheets. Everything else is from the kit. And this time I am going to stamp. What was the stamp I was going to use? What did I do with it? Oh, I think I was going to use the piece again because I love the piece. But this time I'm going to use the shaded spruce. So let me go ahead and clean my stamp. And I'm going to bring my mat back in so I can see what I'm doing. So this time is shaded spruce on the white side of the banner, because you can use the pool party side if you want to. And I'm trying to move my ink pads aside so I don't make a mess like I did the other night. Okay, now I'm going to add the banner. And that's gonna go right here. Next, I'm gonna add the bird. Now, if you watched my last video, what I did is add the mini dimensionals. There's 2 little white spots there that they won't show through. I also added one on the belly because even though it shows through, we're gonna tuck that behind the banner anyway. So that's gonna go right under the banner. Let's see, now I gotta look at my picture and see what I drew out. I can't remember what I wanted to do here. Okay, I'm gonna add the bow. Yeah, I think I'm gonna add that right there. I'm trying to figure out. I didn't even know if I was going to use the bow. I just made one ahead of time in case I did want to use it. So stamping on the fly here without having a sample to go by is sometimes a little difficult to do. Okay, there's my bow. Now next, what I wanted to do is see if I could sneak in some of the holly in with my wreath. So I'm just gonna sneak some of those here and there. I've got plenty to play with. Let's see, I'm gonna put one down here. Boy, those glue dots really grab onto the copper sheet. Let's see, I'm gonna put one more near the tail. And then again, I'm going to turn these. I seem to be using these more on the white side for some reason. They seem to just pop better for me. That's gonna go right there. And if you guys go on Facebook, for those of you on Facebook, tomorrow on the Paper Pumpkin Stamping Up page, they're going to have some featured demonstrators with some samples, and I've got one there that's going to show up on the blog. Okay, so that's all I'm going to add for leaves. Now I'm going to add a few clusters of the red rhinestones, and oh, is that pretty against the copper. I'm going to do clusters of 3. Look how pretty that is. I can see some more hearts floating by. You guys like this one too, huh? I think I'm trying to decide which one is going to be my favorite card. I thought I was going to leave that for my last one, which is, we'll see. We'll see if you guys like it as much as I do. I'm trying to figure out where else. I'm going to just add some single rhinestones. Okay, I might have one. Let me do one more right here. Okay, so there's card number 2 with the copper foil. Doesn't the red rhinestone look striking against that? I just love that look. Okay, card number 3 already. Moving right along. Okay, for card number 3, I'm going to be doing some non-traditional colors. So we're using blueberry bushel. And I did score this one, same size, 11 by 4 1/4, scored at 5.5. A lot of people ask me why I make my cards this way, because you can also make them so they fold this way. For me, it's for photography purposes for my business. When I photograph my cards, it just photographs better when they're sitting this way. Now I'm using one of the sheets from the plaid designer paper. This is the other side, but I wanted to use this one because it resembles snowflakes. I've gone ahead and cut a stitched shape nested die. This is the number 2 size. I'm using the reindeer that came with the kit. And again, I'm using a tree, but this time I'm using the white side. And I embossed it with the Swirls and Curls embossing folder. So you can see how pretty that is. And again, we're going to cut the top. So I just round that off. I've got a little piece for the banner. I've got a little bow to put on the reindeer's neck. And then I'm not sure what I'm going to do with these yet. I'll add these as I go along, and then the silver sequins that came with the kit. So I'm going to go ahead and add the plaid designer paper. Did you guys notice that there is a sheet in there that resembles snowflakes? I thought it was perfect. Okay, next we're going to glue the stitch shape. And I actually need to stamp the sentiment first. I'm using Let It Snow this time. Oh, you know what? No, this is for the sentiment. I'm going ahead of myself. Let's do the sentiment. Let it snow. What I need to stamp on the label shape is actually the snowflakes. I have the little snowflake image. And I'm just going to add a few at the top. Oh, that's beautiful. I love that. Okay, that's all I'm going to do for the stamping. Now I can go ahead and glue this in place with dimensionals. Oh, Sylvia is saying, yeah, you guys don't have paper pumpkin in New Zealand. I hope that's coming soon. I feel so bad that you guys get to watch us play around with these and you don't get to play with them. I think that's something that's being worked on, so be patient. Okay, now my tree. We're going to do more dimensionals. Lots of layering and lots of dimensionals on this card. Okay, the tree's going to go right here. Now the reindeer. And that's going to look so striking on the silver. Let me see, I got to find my mini. I'm just going to add a mini over here. I know this part's going to be flat because it's going to overlap on the tree. And I'm losing my voice. Okay, and the reindeer's going to go right here. Now what I did here, when you guys make cards, what I did is because my tree overlapped over on the left side, I'm making sure that he's overlapping on the right side just to even everything out. And my sentiment, I'm actually going to use the mini dimensionals. I'm going to stick them right between the reindeer. And I'm going to put my sentiment right there. And then we have to bling him up a little bit. So I'm going to add a little bow to his neck. And this is with the ribbon that came with the kit. There, how cute is that? And let's see, I don't even know if I want to add any of this stuff. Let me just see. That would look good though, wouldn't it? Yeah, I'm going to add a few. I'm talking myself into it, see? That's what I do when I'm creating by myself. I talk to myself. I'm sure you guys do that too. Okay, let's just press this in place. Why is that not gluing? Because my glue darts aren't sticking. Let's try that again. There we go. Now I think that's all I'm going to add for that. So now I'm going to bring in the silver sequins. I'm going to add that amongst the snowflakes. So one big one and then a few little ones. And I'm going to call it good. Okay, so there's card number 3. Which one's your favorite? I'm going to bring them all back in, and you guys can tell me which one's your favorite. Let me see, I'll put this one aside right here. Now, don't forget that you need to be subscribed by December 10th for the December kit. I meant to print the little flyer to show you what that is, but I think it's called, or they're advertising like something for everything. It's going to be a bunch of cards, and you're going to be able to intermingle the sentiments to use them for whatever you'd like on your cards. So that's it for tonight for my alternative paper pumpkin projects. I'm glad my video didn't freeze up tonight. I think everything's working better now with Facebook. I'm so glad you joined me, and have a nice remainder of your Sunday. And I will see you again sometime this week. I'll make an announcement when I'm on live. Have a good night, everyone.